There's a new survey out by Charles Schwab that reveals almost half of Americans feel wealthy. But here's the kick: they don't measure it in dollars and cents. And in this video, Brian and I are going to share and react to the data because some of these findings are a bit disturbing for retirement in America.
Right.
Would you say that is
Yeah,
true?
definitely.
Right? So, Charles Schwab conducted its seventh annual Modern Wealth Survey and polled 1,000 Americans about saving, spending, investing, and wealth. They asked about the amount of money that would be required to be considered wealthy, and survey respondents came back with an average of $2.2 million. Yet, among 48% of Americans who already see themselves as rich, their average net worth was $560,000. Now, $560K is nothing to balk at. It's a decent sized chunk of change that people have worked hard to save for.
Right.
But it's an interesting disconnect. 2.2 million versus 560,000 is a big difference.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. And there could be several reasons why they see themselves rich with just $560,000 net worth. Like, how they perceive wealth differently.
Right.
Does the 2.2 million, does it seem too far out of reach for that average person?
Right.
And how about the different income levels or financial situations of each of these 1,000 people in this study?
Sure.
And think about this, Michelle. If you made like $40,000 a year, that was your income and that was your best year ever, having a net worth of $560,000 might make you truly feel rich.
Sure.
Because that's like 14 years of income for that person. But on the other hand, somebody that made $150,000 per year, 2.2 million is like 14 years of income for them.
Right. Right. I think that's the thing here. That feeling rich isn't the same thing as being rich. I mean, your feelings are not going to help you live the retirement you want.
No, it's not. Someone who has an average net worth of $560,000 isn't typically considered wealthy, financially speaking.
Right,
okay?
right.
A net worth encompasses all different type of assets, such as real estate, liquid assets like your 401ks, your IRAs, and your checking and savings accounts.
Sure.
So if someone had a total net worth of $560,000 and they owed $300,000 home that's already paid for, that leaves them with about $260,000 in liquid assets.
Not a lot.
It's not a lot. And I don't consider, some people consider that paid off home as liquid asset. No, you can't consider that because you don't know the environment that you're going to step into the minute you're trying to sell that home.
Absolutely.
So also that 260,000 liquid assets may generate roughly 13,000 each year at a 5% annual return. So that could bring about $1,083 each month in addition to whatever you're bringing in on Social Security. With that monthly income, you'll need to handle your property taxes, your utilities, maintenance, in addition to what you need for food and transportation. And let's not forget the big kicker in the room, and that's that medical expenses. Yeah. And them keep going up every year after year.
There's also going out to dinner with friends or money for hobbies, or God forbid, a medical emergency occur. It's
right.
Outside of just your normal medical expenses. It's just not going to be enough money, period.
Right. No, it's not. And that's why I said, I don't think that this amount of money, $560,000, makes someone rich. It's the opposite when you do the math and actually break down the numbers. So
sure. There's something that really got to me after reading the study findings, and it has to do with the disconnect between how someone feels in reality. I brought it up earlier. Now, let me start by saying this so I don't sound like a giant jerk or insensitive, but I think it is healthy not just to define wealth as having money or things. Right. I learned this the hard way, right? A lot more goes into it, like the depth of our relationships, enjoying experiences, and health and well-being.
Yeah, and we saw this in the study with nearly 2/3 of Americans. 62% of them, Michelle, said being able to enjoy a healthy relationship with their loved ones better describes wealth than having a lot of money.
Exactly. And I do agree that money does not buy happiness, but I can't help but think something else is at play here. And let me break this down. So I noticed that the articles on this survey seem to praise the results. More specifically, the media is praising not being able to thrive in retirement, and praising not having money. It's like we're being programmed to think this is okay. Over the past years, there's been this push that I've seen by the powers that be and the media, it's a slow indoctrination that we should be happy with less. And just think about the World Economic Forum. You'll own nothing and be happy. And the Bank of England recently, the economist that came out and said that Britons need to accept that they're poorer, like deal with it. And there's others that aren't so obvious. They're programming us to rent and be okay. They're programming us that not to eat meat and be okay, not to drive cars and be okay. They're programming us to settle. And this study, or the way that it's being presented, it seems like they're trying to normalize the thought. We're being conditioned to settle while they are stealing our wealth. I mean, the money's going somewhere, right? It has to. It just doesn't evaporate. It's just concerning because you and I talk all the time on this channel about being financially prepared and financially free and what it takes to have that. And people are going to be in for such a rude awakening with this sort of mindset.
Yeah, they are. And think about this. Since the pandemic, we've seen a real shift in spending and also in mindset. Folks are no longer waiting to do things, no longer saving to buy things, and their debt is accumulating very fast. U.S. consumers now owe $986 billion on their charge cards, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York data released in May. That's a 17% jump from a year ago and a record high.
Wow.
People are overspending, and it's about to bite them in the butt, not to mention how much they have saved for retirement.
Absolutely. It will hinder how much people save for retirement. It's kind of scary. There's definitely, I think most people can agree, there's a shift that's happened.
Yes.
So, all right, moving on here. There's another thing worth mentioning about this survey, and it's with the social media results. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, of those polled, nearly half, say 47%, say being able to afford a lifestyle comparable to their friends makes them feel wealthy. And among those who use social media, more than 1/3, 37%, say they compare their lifestyles to what family and friends share on social media.
That 40% number that feel wealthy if they can afford their friends' lifestyle, is it me, or is something super off with that?
It gets worse. The results showed it's even higher for Gen Z and millennials, 61% of both groups.
That's insane.
And unbelievable. I'm going to blame social comparison and social media on the majority of this shift in thinking.
Okay.
People are always sharing the highlights of their lives, whether it's their trips, their purchases, their food, and their drinks. I do the same thing. And think about this, Michelle. Have you ever seen an image of a luxurious beach with tropical drinks and you do not think to yourself, I need to go there?
Yeah, especially when someone's in it that like, gee, I should be doing that, right?
I know. You're comparing your lifestyle to others can serve as motivation to strive for a higher standard of living.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Or my question is this: the friends that you're comparing yourself to, or those on social media that you don't know with those awesome lifestyle pics, are they going into more debt
to afford
this type of lifestyle that you're dying to have? So is everyone striving for it? Is it really striving for a higher standard of living? Like, at what cost?
Right.
That's the thing. All right. So I want to bring up one more data point from this survey, and that is that about 1/3, which is 35% of Americans, have plotted their goals and documented a financial plan. And here's the thing. I know you got a lot to say about this one. And among those who do, 7 in 10 say it makes them feel more in control of their finances, while 9 in 10 say they feel confident that they will reach their financial goals because they have that plan in place.
Yeah, it may be alarming to those who are planning and save for retirement, but honestly, Michelle, this is typical. I'm surprised.
Really?
I'm surprised them numbers are that high.
Really?
I've dealt with this for nearly 25 years as a financial advisor, and that I've made financial plans for consumers, Michelle. You know how frustrating it is to me to spend my time to create a financial plan for someone. And when you check up on them 3 months later, 6 months later, or even a year later, and they haven't even opened the folder you made for them.
Right.
And sure, I got paid as the advisor, but they didn't even follow through even in a simple plan to help themselves. So as an advisor, I'm not shocked with that number at all. And I actually think that number is actually too high. So.
Wow. And the thing, yes, you said, yes, I got paid, but it's frustrating because you actually you care, right?
It's about them. And you're building a plan to them to make it the rest of their lifetime. Sure. And if they can't even bother to open up the folder, why bother?
Yeah. Listen, if you made it this far, we'd love to know your thoughts. What do you think of the survey results? And we are, by the way, going to put the link below for that. And also, what does it mean? What does being wealthy mean to you? We want to know. Maybe I'm super off base here, but let's have the
I don't know.
conversation. I think it's a really an important conversation to have. And really think through what we think wealth is and look at really why we're not planning. That's
Exactly.
my take. All right. Also, we are going to drop a really important video that we did. FedNow is coming soon. It's called FedNow Explained. It's basically anything and everything that you need to know about this new Federal Reserve's payment system. So we'll leave it at that. Go check that out. That's in the link below as well. And as always, if you like the content of this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and again, leave us your comments. All right, Brian, any parting words before we wrap it up here?
Make sure you read through this study and see where
Yeah.
you fall in this study. It's a very good document. Schwab does it every single year, and it's an eye-opening event. So take a look at it. So,
all right, there you go. Thanks, Brian, for this riveting conversation, and thanks to everyone who watched.
thanks, everyone. Have a great day.